Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Box Office Talk. This is the show where I break down what happened at the box office, see if my predictions for the top 5 are correct, and then make predictions for next week's top 5. So let's get right on into it. Last week I predicted that number 1 would be Avengers Endgame, number 2 would be Pokemon Detective Pikachu, number 3 would be The Hustle, number 4 would be Tolkien, and number 5 would be The Intruder. And I only got 3 out of 5 of my predictions right, which is, about a good prediction as you can get, but there are 2 things on there that I got wrong. So of course let's go over what happened in the overall top 10 because it was a little bit interesting what happened. Number 1 was, of course, Avengers Endgame. Once again, no surprise there. I think some people are a little surprised at how quickly it has been dropping because on average for each week, it has been dropping about 50% and a little bit over 50%. This weekend, it made $63 million, and that adds to a domestic total of $723 million, and worldwide, it is sitting at $2.489 billion. So worldwide, it is $300 million away from outgrossing Avatar, which I think it definitely will be able to do that. Just wait and see on that one. Domestically, it already outgrossed Black Panther, which was sitting at $700 million, but now Endgame is sitting at $723, so that officially makes it the highest grossing MCU film ever domestically, so that's very good too. It needs $37 million more to outgross Avatar, which it definitely will get, but I do think some people were kind of hoping that domestically it would outgross The Force Awakens, which is currently sitting at $936 million, somewhere around there at least, and that might be reaching it a bit. I think with the drops that this movie has been having with each weekend, I think some people are kind of starting to think that it won't be able to do that. But I think it's a little bit expected because this movie literally is coming out right before a ton of other movies are coming out. Like our number 2, which we'll get to in a second, opened up to pretty big numbers because that was a highly anticipated film. And that's only going to continue for weeks and weeks now. So I think these 50% drops are a little expected, but at the end of the day, this is still fantastic earnings for this film, and it is still crushing records as we speak. Number 2 is Pokemon Detective Pikachu, making $58 million, which is the highest opening weekend a video game movie has ever had. Honestly, I found that a little hard to believe when I first found out, but it seems to check out, which is pretty fantastic. Worldwide, it is sitting at $170 million, and that is on a budget of $150, so it only needs about $130 million more to double said budget, this is a pretty good start already. Domestically, it is $27 million away from outgrossing the first Pokemon movie too, and it already has worldwide. Worldwide, it is already the highest grossing Pokemon movie ever, and it only needs $27 million more domestically to be the highest grossing one domestically. So this movie's off to a pretty solid start right now. Like I said, Avengers Endgame has a lot of competition coming out from some highly anticipated films. Number 3, we have The Hustle, making $13 million on a budget of, I don't even know, I'm going to say like maybe $20 million, somewhere around there. They haven't disclosed the budget yet, but worldwide it is sitting at $27 million. So not a terrible start. I mean, considering the competition it's opening with, it's definitely not too good though, and I guess once the budget comes out, we'll finally get a good look on where this movie is at, if it's a flop or not. So far, I'm looking at not a flop, but it really does come down to what the budget is overall. Number 4, we have The Intruder, making $6.6 million, adding to a domestic total of $20 million, and that is pretty good for itself because it just doubled its $8 million budget and has made $4 million over that, and it needs $4 million more to triple that $8 million budget. So it's still doing very well, as these Screen Gems Sony movies do when you put them on a low budget and cut together a rather enticing trailer for some people that like thrillers like this, I guess. Number 5, we have Long Shot, currently still not doing all that well. It made $6.1 million, adding to a domestic total of $19 million, and worldwide it is only at $22 million. So unfortunately, the worldwide numbers aren't really a big enough boost for this project. I'm really not thinking it's going to get that $40 million budget doubled at all, which is a really big bummer because this movie has a lot of heart and charm, and it's a really good movie. But unfortunately, I guess some people want to see The Intruder or The Hustle more, which is quite a shame, really. Number 6, we have Palms, making $5 million on a budget of $10 million, literally the same budget as Book Club, and it has literally the same lead star as Book Club. So pretty much it's just another Book Club. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be the same success as Book Club was, because Book Club actually made a decent amount of money on that $10 million budget. This one, I don't think it will. I'm thinking it really was just because there was a lot coming out that other people wanted to see over a old people cheerleader movie. Number 7, we have Ugly Dolls, currently still flopping, making $3 million, adding to a domestic total of $14 million, nowhere close to its $45 million budget, and so far there's no big enough worldwide total to report on, and it's probably not going to get close to a $90 million, which is what it needs to be considered a success. Sorry, Ugly Dolls, sorry, STX, but you done messed up. Number 8, we have Breakthrough making 2.4 million, adding to a domestic total of 37 million. Worldwide, it is sitting at $45 million, so 5 million away from getting to half $100 million worldwide, which is very good for this film. I literally have nothing else to talk about it, though. You already know my stance on this thing, so let's move on to number 9, which was quite a shock. I thought some people might be interested in this film, but apparently not. Tolkien came in very low, only making 2.1 million on a budget of $20 million. So this is a really, really big flop. It's another one of those films that maybe look kind of interesting, but unfortunately, budget is too big. Not too many people went out to see it, and it's just a big flop. Also, the reviews have not been too strong for this thing either, so sorry, Nicholas Hoult. This one is just not working out for you. Number 10, closing out the video, Captain Marvel. Its last time here officially, making $1 million, adding to a domestic total of $423 million, and worldwide it is sitting at $1.124 billion. This is the last time I'm going to report on this, last time I'm going to have to say this, but Captain Marvel did a very good job at the box office. Not as good as Endgame turned out to be, but still, the fact that this movie had a lot of hate going towards it when it was coming out, and it still managed to make as much money as it did, is quite an achievement on its own. Now it's time for the fun part, the predictions for next week's top 5. I'm going to make a bold prediction here, because I actually think number 1 will be John Wick Chapter 3 Parabolum. I've heard some things where the box office is probably going to be like huger than the other 2 John Wick movies, like they're ranging about 40 million, and so I think John Wick actually has a big chance of getting number 1 this weekend. Number 2, Avengers Endgame. Number 3, Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Number 4, A Dog's Journey. And number 5, The Hustle. But what are your predictions for next week's top 5? Leave them in the comments below, and as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.